Hi, I'm Nisha DeGaring, host of Good Things Utah, and I've been a longtime supporter of Todd's Beliefcast. I hope you find inspiration in the courageous stories shared by the amazing people Todd features on his show. The guests serve as shoulders for us to stand on, allowing us to see a little further and cultivate belief in oneself. Remember, you have the dignity and power to change. I encourage you to keep striving and believing in yourself. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester, your host of the Beliefcast. And today I am honored to welcome a woman whose life and work embody compassion, resilience, and the healing power of presence. We have Sage Smith here today. She is a Utah native, an educator, a certified yoga instructor, and a mindfulness advocate who has devoted her life to helping others reconnect with their bodies, their breath, and their inner strength. Today, she brings that same passion to Wasatch Recovery, where we're colleagues together, which is really cool. She guides clients through movement and meditation as part of their healing journey. Sage is also a devoted wife and mother. Her life was forever changed after the stillbirth of her sweet son, Stetson, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. Through unimaginable loss, Sage has discovered the deeper truth that joy and grief can coexist, that life's most painful moments can also expand our capacity for love, empathy, and presence. Her wisdom, her heart, and her courage to keep showing up make her a powerful light in this world. And I want you to know that is the facts. This is from Todd, what I'm saying here. And I really admire you. I was obviously around you when that happened with the loss of Stetson.
Yeah.
But how you handled it was remarkable in my eyes. I know it's probably still even hard to this day, but I just want you to know I really admire the way you showed up for yourself and your family and all that. So, welcome to the show, everyone. This is going to be amazing. Sage is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and everyone loves her when she shows up here. The clients are so excited that she showed up, and they get to be around her for a while. And you guys are going to really feel something today. Thanks to my sponsors. I want to just give a quick shout out to them. Thank you for supporting me and believing in me. So, well, Sage, why don't we start off with, why don't you tell people a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and maybe something about your family.
Okay. I'm excited to be here. I told Todd earlier I'm a big fan of this podcast. I listen to it a lot when I clean my house, and I have stopped mid-mopping with tears in my eyes. This podcast is amazing. So what you do makes a difference. And I think sharing stories is just huge. It's a great way for us to learn and to grow and not feel so alone in this journey of life.
Thank you. And I know that you've been supporting it for a long time. That means the world to me. So thank you, Sage.
So I'm excited to be here. I'm starstruck to be here. But my name's Sage. I grew up in Murray, Utah my whole life. Yeah. And I had a great childhood. I have amazing parents, Tina and Brett Holman. You know my mom. Yeah. You work with my mom.
Yeah, Sage's mom. So those who don't know, she's the executive experiential director here at Wasatch. She's amazing woman, passionate about what she does. And
she is. My parents are incredible. My mom is like this big fireball of energy, big enthusiasm, big love for life, big positivity. And my dad is like this calm, quiet, humble, sweet man. And I'm so lucky I've had their example in my life. And not a lot of people can say that about their parents, and I can. And I've watched their relationship and how they deal with conflict and how they work through life together. And I'm so lucky to be raised by them. And I'm very close with my parents. I love them. I call them multiple times a day. And
I've been in your mom's office where, it's Sage again.
Yep. I call. I'm like,
FaceTiming.
I need to talk to another adult.
Yeah, totally.
But my parents are amazing. I have two younger brothers, Max and Mason. They're, I'm going to botch their ages, 25 and 24. They're 18 months apart. So they're super close. They're bigger than me now. They're giants, but I'm older. I'm older than them, and I love them. They both.
Yeah, I was going to ask you I know your brothers really well. Yeah. Amazing guys. Yeah. And a little crazy too. And that's what I love about them. Yeah. They're so different, at least in my eyes. But how was it growing up with two brothers?
It was so fun. I remember always wanting a sister.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being like, I wish I had a sister.
Yeah.
And I am so close with my brothers too.
Yeah.
They call me multiple times a day,
Oh,
mostly to FaceTime my children, but
Yeah.
I'm very close with them. Max is super loving and open and makes you feel really welcomed. And Mason is like this driven, hardworking, sweet person. So yeah, those are my brothers. We grew up in Murray, went to Murray High.
Yeah.
I danced growing up. That was a huge part of my childhood. I danced many hours a week. I feel like it taught me discipline. It taught me grit. It taught me to show up and like manage my time well. And so grew up dancing. I did drill team in high school. That was fun.
Hey, my girls did drill.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, you guys work harder than any sport
we do.
out there, period.
We do.
Harder than football, basketball, baseball. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
I watch the mornings and
Yep.
at nights,
Yeah.
two-a-days for the
Yep.
whole school year.
Yep.
Right?
So many hours, so many lessons. I feel like I've gained some of my greatest friends from drill team. Just making those friendships in high school. I'm still very close with a lot of those girls, but I loved dancing. And my mom, she had a herniated disc when I was in junior high in her spine. And so she had surgery to get her spine fused. And we had a woman in our neighborhood named Lisa Smiley. She's incredible. She owned a yoga studio. And after my mom's surgery, she said, Tina, come and practice yoga. It'll release the tension in your spine. It'll help you heal. My mom was like, I can't even turn my head right now.
Right.
And anyways, my mom got into yoga. So when I was dancing in high school, my mom would come and teach the drill team yoga. And yoga was such this good outlet from dance. The dance world's really competitive.
Yeah.
And yoga is not. Yoga is like being where you're at in your body. And I'd never experienced that until my mom and Lisa taught me. So that's kind of how I got into yoga, was through my mom and Lisa.
I didn't know. I was wondering that. That's cool. I did not know that.
And my mom did a summer class for like kids in high school. So like tons of my friends would come. We would do this amazing packed yoga class with my mom every week for free. My mom didn't charge.
Yeah.
And kids we loved it. We would do these fun poses and introduce kids to yoga. So that's how I got into yoga.
Okay.
And it has saved me. And after high school, I traveled a little bit after high school with some neat opportunities. And then I went to BYU. BYU was my dream school. I worked really hard to get in there.
It's a hard school to get into.
Yeah. My
right?
family's big Utah fan. So I was like the black sheep of
like,
the
what
family.
is she doing?
Yeah.
Right?
For going to BYU. And I studied early childhood education. And I wanted to be a teacher. And so I had a great education there. I learned so much. I loved it. And that's when I really dove into yoga as well. Utah County has some amazing yoga studios, amazing community. And so I did my early childhood education degree and graduated, and I taught first and second grade for 4 years.
Oh man, I could see you as a school teacher. I bet you were amazing.
I loved it. I loved it, and I will go back. I love being in the classroom. I love being a safe place for students and creating an environment and a feel and a community.
So I want to say, you said something. You want to be a safe place for kids, right? Yeah. That is one of your superpowers. And I hear this all the time with clients. I mean, everyone feels safe around you. And that's why I was like, if you go back to teaching, I mean, how lucky for those kids. But again, that is, I think, one of your greatest gifts that you have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was really important to me as a teacher to be that safe place for kids, so cool. Someone they could trust, someone they could make mistakes in front of, and that we could grow through that together. So first and second grade were a blast. Like you're never, it's not an office job. You're moving around, you're doing art, you're teaching them to learn, to read, to write, to grow. The growth is incredible. And my coworkers at the schools that I taught at were just amazing. I got really lucky with who I worked with and who my boss was. And I have nothing but good feelings with teaching.
That's awesome.
So after I taught I taught in Salem, Utah, which is just this little heaven on earth. It's like farm country and amazing community. Like I said, my husband, Landon, I guess I should mention him, how we met.
Yes. Shout out to Landon.
Shout out to Landon. So going back a couple years, a long time, my husband, Landon, and I met. We actually met when we were 7 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we've known each other a long time. My family moved into the neighborhood that his family lived in. So we lived about a circle apart. And we grew up going to the same elementary, middle school, high school. And we grew up going to each other's cabins. So like my family invited their family. They invited us to their cabin. And I was best friends with his sister, Justine. She's a year younger than me. So I'm right in between Landon and Justine. But she's one of my longtime best friends. Love her. We have so many pictures together when we're little. And my mom always was like, you should date Landon. Landon has red hair and my mom loves redheads. And she would always really push it. And I was like, no, like that'll ruin everything. So
no dating even in high school, right?
No, we went to a dance together. I asked him to a dance. It was so fun. It's funny. I always kind of labeled Landon. I was like, he'll be a great husband. Like I just always labeled him that way. I'm like, he'll be a great husband one day. But I never thought for me, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So time goes forward. I'm at BYU. He had served a mission in Peru and my family had gone always to his siblings when they came home from their missions. We'd gone to the airport. And so we went to the airport when Landon got home and he like hugged everybody and he got to me and he like shook my hand.
I can't hug girls right now.
I'm like, come on. And the video's pretty funny of that. And he came down to BYU too. And I was rooming with Justine at the time. And I had started dating someone and he had started dating someone and the stars eventually aligned and he had said like, I want to see where things can go with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I was kind of like, well, I think we should keep dating other people, but still like date each other. Like I didn't give him a very clear answer. And
you were playing hard to get.
I was like, this is like big. Like this could change our whole family's dynamic, you know, if it doesn't work out. But anyway, so we both went on to date other people. Didn't work out with me and this other guy, which was a huge blessing. Didn't work out with him and this other girl. And I like felt super strong to like date Landon, like to let him know like I want to try and see where it goes. And I remember just like shaking, telling him, and he was like, okay. Like he's like, let me think on it tonight. And I was like, what? You're gonna make me wait, you know?
Like, wow, now he's playing hard to get.
But literally the next day we were inseparable. And so we got married in 2016. So we've been married 9 years. Next year will be 10. And
that's wild. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
He's incredible. He is probably one of the most consistent people I've ever met. He is the same in every situation. And that is so lucky.
Isn't that a lot like your dad?
Yeah, it is. He is a lot like my dad.
Yeah, your dad seems pretty just even keel, consistent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Can handle anything that comes his way. And
that's Landon.
That's cool.
And Landon is so optimistic and steady. Like that's how I would describe him. So I'm so lucky.
Yeah,
and I've known him a long time. Like I've seen him in lots of different situations and we've experienced a lot these last 9 years together, and he's definitely my rock. He's my safe place, you know?
Well, we're going to talk about some of those things that you've gone through.
Yeah.
Before we do that, you know, you mentioned how much, you know, you admire your parents.
Yeah.
I know this is going to be a hard question because there's going to be many lessons, but think of growing up, like what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from your mom and dad that kind of stand out to you?
I think a huge one is my mom and dad never talk bad about each other to other people, ever. They never begrudge one another. Like they speak kindly about one another, even when the other person's not there. And that's huge to me. They honor
big,
their
yeah.
word with their spouse,
Yeah.
and just, another thing I love about my parents is like they flirt. They flirt. Like they've been married, I think 33 years.
Yeah, I think they're a year ahead of me and my wife. I'm 33. I think they're 34 if I remember correctly, but I might be wrong.
And the love is strong still, and they flirt and they have fun, and those are some of the things that like I feel so lucky. And they're affectionate, and that embarrassed me for the longest time.
You guys knock it off.
Yeah, but I remember one day a girl had told me that her parents were getting divorced and she was so sad, and I'm like, man, I'm really lucky that my parents are affectionate and that I get to see that example. So those are my big standouts with my parents. Yeah, and their relationship.
Yeah, and I've known your mom a long time, and I just from what I know of what you're saying, I can agree. I see that too. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's so lucky.
Well, that's amazing. And thanks for sharing that background. I think it's really helpful for our listeners to get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
So you've been married almost 10 years.
Yep.
You have 2 kids.
Yep.
Beautiful, amazing kids.
Yep.
You went through something really difficult, and I would love you to share, if you'll start from the beginning and just share that story, because it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I will. So we have a 4-year-old daughter named Lila, and I had her in 2021 in Las Vegas. That's where we had been living.
That's right.
Had a great pregnancy. I actually loved being pregnant. I'm like, I felt like my hormones leveled out. I felt great. I had an emergency C-section with her, but it was great. My recovery was fine. So she's our first daughter. She's a Spitfire. She's full of energy and light and love, and honestly,
little raspy voice.
Yeah, she has a raspy
cute
voice.
Yeah.
I feel like she's raising me. Like I'm learning how to be a mom for the first time with her, and I'm forever so lucky to be her mom. And then in 2023, Landon and I were like, we want to have more kids, and so we got pregnant in March of 2023.
Okay.
And we found out, we were so excited. Lila was about 2 at the time, and just over ecstatic, as you are. As soon as you're pregnant, you start making plans.
Yeah.
Like once you find out, you're usually 7 or 8 weeks along, and your brain just goes into planning mode, visualizing a life with this baby.
Sure.
And so we waited to find out the gender of our second baby until the 20-week appointment, which is also an anatomy scan where they kind of check the baby, their anatomy. And Landon and I went. We were pretty excited to find out what we were having, and we found out we were having a little boy, and we had a little party after and popped a balloon in front of our family, and it was blue confetti, and it was amazing. And Lila was so excited. We got her like a little baby boy doll,
man.
and she's just so tiny then. And they had called me like a week later after the anatomy scan, and they just said, we noticed your baby's kidneys and ureters are a little bit dilated. And they're like, this is really common with especially little boys. And so I was like, okay, but your heart kind of worries a little bit, when you hear any different news. And
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that I was like, okay. So we went back in, had another ultrasound, and they did confirm his ureters and kidneys were a little bit dilated. So that they're full of fluid, more fluid than normal. Okay. Yeah. So, but they looked better the second time after that ultrasound. And my doctor was like, I think things are looking okay, but I'll keep you posted what we hear back from radiology. So they did hear back, and they're like, you know what? We want to send her to maternal fetal medicine and do a in-depth ultrasound. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So Landon and I went, and it was a full hour ultrasound, and they checked every inch of our baby. And I just remember being like, is this good? Is this, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
What should I be looking for?
Right. Yeah.
And an hour is a long time.
Yeah.
And he wasn't moving great. He was so active in ultrasounds, which is kind of funny. You know, like they're like, wait, move this way. And he was a mover. And
Okay.
so we meet with a maternal fetal medicine doctor after, and he kind of explains the kidneys, and they also noticed that his stomach was a little bit small, which could mean he's not like swallowing amniotic fluid correctly.
Okay.
And so he said, we're going to have you go up to Primary Children's, which is a really huge hospital here in Utah.
Right. Yeah.
And we're going to have you meet with a team up there. And that was a lot to take in.
Yeah, when you hear those words,
Yeah.
I can only imagine what goes through your mind, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I wear my emotions pretty on my sleeve, and I just remember just having tears stream down my face when the doctor was telling me all this, because a lot of unknown, a lot of things out of your control.
Yeah.
So after that, it was like 2 weeks later, we went up to Primary Children's, and we had another hour-long ultrasound, and then we met with a team for about four hours. And
Wow.
I won't go too into the details with all that, but my dad, he is a transplant coordinator and deals with kidneys, pancreas, livers. And so Landon and I asked my dad to come with us just to help me better understand what was going on with our little boy. And the team just they basically explained best case scenario of what could happen at birth and worst case scenario. But nothing life-threatening. Like, these are things that kids are born with and sometimes need a surgery with as soon as they're born, which is a lot to still wrap your mind around.
Right.
I was supposed to deliver in Murray, and they wanted me to deliver up at the University of Utah to be close to Primary Children's. But they basically just said, you won't know the outcome until he's born. And as soon as he's born, we're going to go run these tests on his kidneys and on his esophagus. They thought maybe with a small stomach, an esophageal fistula. I never thought I'd learn any of these things or words.
Yeah.
So after that big appointment, I just remember going out in the parking garage at Primary Children's and just sobbing and just the unknown. And that was probably my most challenging part of that pregnancy, was just a lot of unknown until he was born.
Right.
And at this point, I'm about 27, 28 weeks pregnant. So I've got a long ways to go.
Right.
Pregnancy can feel long.
Forever. But this probably made it even longer.
Yeah. It did. And I just remember praying for him. I remember people texting me and just saying, we're praying for your baby. Yeah. We're with you. Lots of support. But it's something when you're carrying the baby that it feels very alone, like you're alone. Yeah. Because it's you and that baby together, and they're so close to you. You know, they're physically in your body, but there's so much out of your control that you don't know what the outcome is going to be. And so time goes forward, and it was about the week before Halloween in 2023, and I had felt like I hadn't felt my baby move in a minute. And so, not in a minute, maybe in like an hour. Yeah. And they say to do the kick counts, and I'm like, I haven't felt him move. And so Landon took Lila. I jumped in the car and drove to the hospital, and I remember having this thought, like, what if I lose him? Or like, I had that thought, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen to me. Yeah. That's not part of my experience. You know, other people go through those things. Yeah. And I got to the hospital, and I got checked into labor and delivery, and as soon as I sat on the bed, I felt a kick, and I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like yeah.
I have never felt so relieved in that moment. And they monitored me for about an hour and listened to his heartbeat, and everything was fine. And you know, these appointments, listening to babies' heartbeats, they're they're so precious. They are all you want to hear in these appointments. They're actually all that
For sure.
matter. And so
Yeah.
to hear his heartbeat was huge. They sent me home and they just said, come in if you feel decreased movement again. So I went home, and a week goes by, and it was November 2nd, and I kind of got hit with the same feeling. I'm like, have I felt him move? You do all the things, like you eat something sugary, you go for a walk. And I remember having like a big bowl of crunch berries, like, come on, this will get you moving. And he hadn't moved. And so I went back to the hospital, and like, I just like think of myself in that moment, and like, I just have so much empathy for myself in that moment. Like, I went and sat on the couch in the waiting room because I'm like, he's going to kick. Like, that's what he did last week.
Did last time.
He kicked. He's okay. And then they checked me into the labor and delivery, and same spot where I'd been a week earlier. And they brought the ultrasound machine, and they were just looking all over my belly, like, for a heartbeat. And I watched the nurse, and all of a sudden she just had tears. She had tears streaming down her face, and I just remember watching her face, and I was like, why do you have tears down your face? And she said, we can't find a heartbeat. And sorry.
You're okay.
That my world stopped. My life stopped in that moment. Like, I had no words, and I was all alone, unfortunately. And they sent my doctor down, and he just checked everything again. They did an ultrasound, and he was gone.
Wow.
He was gone. I was 32 weeks and 4 days in my pregnancy. So
in full terms, 36?
Full term is 36.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're right there.
Yeah, I was, well, and you have a baby normally at 40 weeks, but 36 weeks is when you're okay,
Yeah.
So my doctor, he was like, I am so sorry. He's like, I want to deliver this baby for you. He's like, but I'm going out of town today. And he's like, do you want to wait till Monday to have this baby? And I'm like, no, I can't. We've got to go forward with this. And he felt so bad, but all the doctors there are great. And so I had talked with him, and Landon finally made it to the hospital, because I had called him on the phone and told him, and his whole world also had just stopped. And I just remember just embracing each other and holding each other and crying. Just, we couldn't believe it. Like, he had just been so alive,
Yeah.
And so from there, they had a specialist come in and do another ultrasound. And I remember her looking at me, and she just said, this is one of the most peaceful ways your baby could have gone. Like, he's in your womb.
Right.
He's safe. And in that moment, that did give me like a lot of peace. Like, I was like, okay, but he's gone. Like, so
Sure.
From that point, they sent us home. They had us go home and pack a hospital bag to come back. And so we went home. My mom was with Lila, and we had to break the news to her, to Lila. Lila was so confused.
I can't even imagine that. Yeah.
Lila, she was so little. She was 2, but
right.
she's a wise little girl.
She is.
Like,
she's smart.
Yeah, and my in-laws were there, and Landon and my father-in-law, they gave me a blessing and just of strength that I could get through this delivery of delivering our baby who had passed away. Oh. And so from there, we went back to the hospital. And as we were coming back into the hospital, my OB nurses were walking out of the hospital, which I felt like was this, it was so lucky to see them because they had been with me through my whole pregnancy.
I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the incredible sponsors of the Beliefcast podcast. First, Craig from Craig Swapp and Associates. If you need an attorney, he's your guy. Trustworthy, compassionate, always there when you need him most. Next, Wasatch Recovery, the greatest university on the planet, transforming lives one day at a time. Sandy from Minky Couture, the creative genius behind the most comfortable blanket you'll ever wrap yourself in. Comfort like no other. Special thanks to the award-winning pianist Paul Cardall for his beautiful music that brings inspiration to every episode.
And they just hugged me and gave me a little boost of strength, and we went in and you get checked in, you get roped up. I remember, they have you get weighed before.
Okay.
They weigh you, and this other mom was there, and she's like, "Are you having your baby?" And I was just like, I don't even know what I said. I don't know what I responded.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what, that's what is associated with birth. It's joyful. It's
joy.
Happy. And this experience of losing a child and having a stillborn child, it's opposite in a lot of ways.
Sure.
And I'll talk more about those, but we got checked in. They had to put my body into labor. I wasn't dilated at all. And so we got checked in on November 2nd at 3:00 p.m. So 3:00 in the afternoon. And I got my robes on, and over our door, they had put a leaf with a teardrop on it. So that lets the other nurses, lets people know that this is a room where a child has, has passed away, which I think it's really neat that the hospital had that in place, because that is how I would describe the feeling in our room, was really reverent, like really, I can't even explain it, like somehow there was stillness and peace there. And one of the first things that they have you do is just awful. They ask you, they're like, "Do you have any idea where you want to bury your baby?" And you're like, "I just found out that we've lost him."
It's not even on my mind.
No, but these really challenging questions, like, where do you want him buried? Where do you want him laid? What do you want to do with his body after? Just things Landon and we have never thought about. We've never even thought about our own graves or where we're going to be buried. And it was a lot. It was a lot to have to think about. I mean, it's not what you want with your child. You want your child in your arms.
Absolutely.
And so those are some of the questions that logistically they have to ask you, and it's so painful. And it took a long time for my body to start going into labor and to be ready to deliver him. And they did all the things. I went through 3 shifts of nurses. The whole process for me was about 36 hours. And as I'd mentioned, I had a C-section with Lila. And my doctor, he was just like, "I really think we should try for you to have him vaginally. Like, you'll heal quicker. It could help you in the future if you want to get pregnant again, to be more healed." And it just terrified me. And a lot of times I was like, I want to call it, like, I want to do a C-section. I already have the scar, like, and I just remember having major contractions, and my mother-in-law, she was like massaging my back, and she was like, why are you like going through this physical pain? Like, why are you going through this? And like, you can get an epidural. Like, I hadn't gotten an epidural at that point. And I was like, you're right. Like, why am I? So I got an epidural. It helped so much. And normally what gets you through birth is you're like, I get to see my living baby after this. And I get to hold my living baby. And that felt really like confusing to me, because I'm like, I'm going to birth him, but he's passed away, you know, like what's going to get me through this? Like how am I going to do this? Like I was very nervous to see him. And like, that's just my honest feelings. You're nervous to see your little baby that is gone now. And I remember something that really helped me was I was thinking about Lila, and I was like, I want to run with Lila. Like I want to be able to run with her and play with her after this. And she really helped me like in that mindset to get through it. And I remember really fighting what was happening. Like I remember just being like, no, this is not how I can't believe this is part of my story now, and fighting it. Like I felt it physically. I'm fighting this. And I think once I got that epidural, it helped too. But I really felt that moment of like surrender. Like I remember thinking that word, like surrender. This is what's happening. This is your reality right now. And I felt that physically, mentally, spiritually. And my sister-in-law, she had texted me a scripture. It's like John 14:18, and it says, I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. And I felt that like this was the most terrifying thing I've ever had to do. And somehow I don't know how, but I was lifted through it. I was able to feel some calm during this labor, and I will never forget that feeling. And our doctor that ended up being the one delivering our baby, he was calm, he was reverent. Our nurse was exactly who I needed in that moment. And time went on. I got to sleep a little bit, and I just remember being like, these are some of my final moments with him, with me, with Stetson with me. And I had got to a 10, which felt, it's like this mix of feelings, because you're like, I'm so proud of my body. Like you're doing this. Like
it's amazing.
Your body is such a huge part of this experience of birth and child loss too. Your body, it's a whole being experience. And we pushed, and they're very good at communicating with you. They're like, what do you want us to do with your baby? Like, do you want us to take him out and give you a minute? Do you want us to hand him right to you? Do you? And I felt pretty nervous. And so I was like, if you'll just wrap him up and hold him at first, and then I'll let you know. And I pushed and I pushed, and I was able to deliver him. And I looked right down at him. I'm like, I have to see him.
Yeah,
he's
my resist.
I've been waiting 7.5 months to know who this little boy is. And they handed him up to me, and I put him on my chest, and he was perfect. We named him Stetson. He's 4 pounds, 17 inches. We just marveled at him. And I just kept looking at him like, are you going to take a breath? You know, like there was no breath. And me and Landon just gushed over him, just like you would, you know, any living baby. And we admired his features. He had like this cute button nose like Lila, and these super red lips. That's something that's common with stillborn babies.
Really?
They have bright red lips, like bright red.
Really?
They were almost like lipstick red. And they were beautiful, and just perfect hands, perfect feet. And I just held him, and that was so healing for me. And I had this experience while pushing him that I felt my grandparents, I felt my mom's parents and my dad's parents, and my cousin Heather, who had passed away. I felt like my eyes were closed, and I felt their presence. And that just tells me how close heaven and earth can come together.
Yeah. What a gift you had for that, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, he's with them. Like, I know that. Like, Stetson is with these people who love me. And anyway, so from there, there's these little, so we named him Stetson Jet Smith. And we've always loved the name Stetson. It's after the American cowboy hat.
I was wondering where the name came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So John B. Stetson
awesome.
created the cowboy hat. And we just love that name. And then Jet is for John and Brett, which is my dad, and Land. It's dad's names together.
I like that.
Yeah. So it felt special to name him, to hold him. And from there, they kind of clean him up. Their skin is super, super delicate.
Yeah.
And our nurse dressed him in like this little tuxedo, like this tiny little tuxedo. And I remember just being like, that means the world to me. Like, somebody had donated those little outfits.
No way.
Yeah. To the hospital.
That's unbelievable.
So they brought him back, and then just like you do with a living baby, they move you up to postpartum. And like I said before, like, so many things are very opposite with a baby that's passed away. You know, a baby that's living, you're keeping them warm.
Yep.
And with a baby that's passed away, they have these special beds called a cooling cot.
Okay.
And they lay the baby in there, and it preserves their body, right? And that was like so opposite for me, you know. Yeah. But we had him about, like I said, 3 a.m, and I felt like fiercely protective of him. Like, I was nervous about having Lila come and meet him because she was so little.
Yeah. And
I was nervous about who I even wanted to come and meet him because he was so, what's the word, fragile. You know?
Sure.
So we had my mom and dad and my in-laws, Margie and John, come. And it was like 7 a.m. because we just wanted them there as soon as possible. Sure. And, you know, they experienced a little bit of what we had, like people walking into the hospital with balloons and celebrating having a grandbaby. And it's really opened my eyes to both sides of the coin. But they came, and there's some of my favorite pictures ever of my parents. There's one of my dad holding Stetson and just marveling at him, you know.
Sure.
And it wasn't only a loss for me and Landon, it was a loss for our family. It was a loss for our parents and our siblings and you know, Stetson's cousins, and it was a huge loss for so many people, and that was hard too. It's hard to watch other people hurt too, but we had that time with our parents, and then they left and had to say goodbye to his physical body, you know.
For sure.
And Landon and I, after that, Landon and I, thank you. After that, you know, they tell you to take as long as you want with your baby. Stay as long as you want. Hold him as long as you want. And my hairdresser, who I had gone to for 10 years, she had a stillborn baby. And I had asked her, like, what do I do? And she just said, take as many pictures as you can. So we just took tons of pictures of him. And we said, like, we had a final moment with him. And basically from there, they take his body and they go and make molds of his hands and feet. So these are his hands and feet.
Can we pick them up?
Yep.
You want to show?
Yep. These are like my most prized possessions ever.
Amazing.
So these are Stetson's hands and feet, and
so much detail.
So detailed, just perfect, just tiny, and I love these. So I keep these by my jewelry in my room, and I I kiss them, and when we go on trips, I'm like, goodbye, I love you.
Oh, man. Those are so precious.
Yeah, they are something that
Wow.
I will cherish forever and ever, and just the detail and the tininess. And
Right.
so as soon as they take them, they make these molds, which I love that they do that.
Right.
Like, it's incredible. And I remember after, thank you, after they took him, you know, I just delivered a baby, and, thank you.
Talk about that.
Yeah. Landon and we just took a nap because we were exhausted.
Oh, I bet.
Like, I had just gone through labor, and part of what gets you through labor is having your baby after, you know.
Right, yeah.
You hardly think about yourself after when you have a living baby. And we just, like, I remember being like, that was the saddest nap I've ever taken. Like, we just were exhausted. But
Yeah. Wow.
this...
Yeah, what do you have there? Let our listeners know.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite paintings. It was in the MOA at BYU, and it's by John Kershiznik, and it's this painting called She Will Find What Is Lost. And this is how I was trying to describe to you how I felt during Stetson's labor and being carried after. I felt like I was lifted by angels in heaven and angels on earth. Like, people lifted us through this. And I will never forget, like, the kindness that has happened for us. And
that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
And these are amazing.
I love them.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
They're
it's so touching.
They're like a reminder that he existed, that he happened, that I carried him, you know. And that's what those do for me. And so basically from there, you leave the hospital empty-handed. You leave the hospital without a baby, and you drive home without a baby. And
probably the longest drive of your life there.
It was. And Landon and I went home, and, like, we didn't have Stetson physically in our house. Like, he was in my belly.
Yeah.
But, like, we felt this major hole
Sure.
going home, and we just went to bed. Like, I remember there had been baskets and flowers and just so much love, and we just went to bed that night. And that's when I feel like this whole experience, I became like a totally different person than I was before. Grief and loss really transform you, and they change you. And the next morning, Landon and I went on a walk, and I remember, like, looking at people so different. Like, I'm like, what are they carrying? Like, what are they going through? You don't know. You don't know what people walking on the path next to you are going through. And that, maybe I was naive before, but this loss, I just remember that so well, just being like, what are these other people going through? And
so what I'm hearing too, you're a very compassionate person. You always have been.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it was magnified 1,000 times because of that, right?
It was, like, loss and pain. It just makes you so much more aware of maybe what other people are going through.
Yeah.
And especially, like, child loss or infertility or miscarriages. I mean, so many of the women in my life have experienced those things, and I hadn't.
Yeah.
And you, of course, are so sorry, and you reach out, but, like, going through this, I have, like, so much a depth of love for them, and a depth of empathy, and a depth of sadness for them, you know, that women and families are carrying when these pregnancies don't go as you hoped and as you planned. And it's devastating. Wow. And somehow you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, that was the part that felt really maddening to me. I'm like, people are just going to work again, and
you got
school
right.
and jobs. I'm like, the world should stop right now.
It should, yeah. And almost, it feels like pointless. Like, now I get up and go to work, and I go work out. I do a yoga session.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt. So many things that made us stop and pause, and like explaining it to our little 2-year-old, and
I can't imagine that.
It was so confusing for her. And I just remember trying to explain it to her and just being like, he's gone, he's passed away, but I believe we'll see him again. He's with Jesus, and Lila would be like, yeah, he is, like a kid's faith, she's like, he's good. She would always say that to me. She'd be like, he's good.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, do you know for sure?
You're like, I needed to hear that.
Yeah. And we had these little funny signs and moments, like when we had gotten home from the hospital that night, Landon and I, so first of all, it was daylight savings. So it was dark. It was the day of daylight savings. So I'm like,
wow.
The world is dark. My life feels dark. Yeah. Everything is dark. But there were these box elder bugs, like in our house, like a bunch of them. And it made us giggle. And it felt kind of good, after being in this dark place. And Landon would be like, oh my gosh, there's another box elder bug. And we would just joke, and we're like, maybe Stetson likes bugs. Like, he's a little boy. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
And that's going to come later in our story. But box elder bugs, it's so funny. We find them in these miraculous places. But to continue on with Stetson, my really good friend Jane, she had a stillborn baby in 2020. Yeah. So she has been someone who has helped me so much through this. And her advice was for me to do therapy. Yeah. And I'd never done therapy in my whole life. And I found a therapist that, like, she specialized in infant loss, and she helped me so much. Wow. That's awesome. Therapy, and with losing a child, you can blame yourself, like, for a lot of things. You can be like, what did I do? You carry that. And my therapist helped me to not carry that. She helped me to train my brain to be like, this was out of your control. You did nothing wrong. And I know lots of other women can think that way too. And therapy saved me. Wow. It helped me so amazing. Much. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I feel this. Thank you for being so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Do you share this often?
No.
Or this is probably one of the first times, publicly maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just want you to know, like, wow, I thank you.
Thank you.
I think because a lot of people tuning into this may be in the same situation, or even if they're not, maybe they know someone, or they have a daughter who's gone through what you've gone through, and this will be so helpful for them to hear your strength. And
to feel less alone in it, because it is very isolating, and your grief is so big, especially in the beginning, and babies were painful for me to be around. Like, I couldn't go to some of my friends' showers. I really had to protect my energy and my spirit, and that was hard because I'm a people pleaser, and I like to show up for people.
Yeah, you're a social person. You love being around people.
I do. Yeah. And I feel like through losing Stetson, I gained so much love for myself. Like, I remember looking in the mirror and being like, you have been through it. Like, you have really gone through it. And, your body, even after having a baby, you're very much recovering from birth still. Yeah. And that's a reminder of him. And I nursed Lila. I love nursing. Sure. And they told me that my milk would come in after losing Stetson. And I was just like, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for me. Like, I've been through a lot, and it happened. And same thing, another opposite is you have to try to stop your milk. You have to take, like, allergy medicine to dry up your milk, and all these crazy things that you're physically recovering from. And my body was so ready for a baby. Like, I remember being in the shower, and I noticed I was rocking side to side, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my body was ready to care for him, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a huge loss too.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, I love what you said though, when you said you started having so much love for yourself.
I did. I do.
And you do.
Yeah.
I admire you, and I just think the resilience and the dedication and the strength that you showed through this whole thing. I can't even. I was thinking of a quote that I wanted to share with you because I knew you were going to be sharing this, and I want to share it with you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And it's by Rumi,
Okay.
the 13th century Persian poet.
Yeah.
And I thought this will mean a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And here's how it goes. The quote goes, "Whenever sorrow comes, be kind to it, for God has placed a pearl in sorrow's hand."
Wow. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, and if anyone knows that, it's you.
Yeah, I do.
And I'd love to hear, like, you've had these pearls placed into your hand because of this loss.
Sorrow.
And the sorrow you've gone through. My goodness.
Yeah, I think going through sorrow and pain, when you experience joy and happiness again, it's so much deeper. Because you have experienced the other side of it, like that joy means a lot more now than it did before. It's a deep joy,
Dang.
And I savor some of the tiniest moments with my kids now after this loss, and it's made me slow down as a mom, and like Stetson, we can feel him close, and we try to honor him. And a unique part of my story is that 2 months after we lost Stetson, I got pregnant with Harvey, our little 1-year-old that we have now. And I got pregnant on birth control. It was a total surprise.
Yeah, you weren't planning this that soon.
No, it was 2 months. I had been pregnant for 7.5 months. We went through this horrible tragedy, grieving process, in the thick of it.
Yeah, you're still going through it.
And then we find out we're pregnant again, and it really put me kind of back in it. And I was carried through Harvey's pregnancy. I don't know how, but I was lifted. And
I remember, if it's okay, I remember you coming here, and I think you were dropping something off to your mom, I had known that you were pregnant again.
Yeah.
But just the way you talked about it, just with me even.
Yeah.
I remember when you left, I was like, that is one of the most courageous women I've ever met.
Thank you.
Like, it was, again, it's one of those pearls placed in your hand again.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
But wow, the way you like rose up and was like, and you're right, you were probably being bared up by the, the angels you talked about, right?
Yeah. And, they have you, I'm high risk now, considered high risk in my pregnancies after losing.
Because of what happened.
Stetson. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so very early on, they monitored me a lot with Harvey, and that can bring a lot of nerves. I used all my yoga. I remember before my NST appointments, where they listen to their heartbeat for about an hour and track their movements, I would just lay on the ground. Like, I would lay on the ground at home and just breathe and put my feet on the ground. And I had to do stuff like that because it can bring so much anxiety. And but like I said, I was lifted through it. I had so much support with me, and I'm a big date person. Like, dates mean a lot to me. And Harvey was born on October 15th of 2024. So him and Stetson are 11 months apart, and we had received an invitation to the hospital to go to this infant loss memorial that they were dedicating on October 15th at 5:30 p.m. And I'm like, that's the day that I'm getting induced. Like, that is crazy. That is not coincidence.
It's not. Yeah, right.
And I was like, how can I go to that memorial loss and I'm checked into the hospital, and we had Harvey at 5:33 p.m. while they were dedicating that memorial. And it's this beautiful memorial in front of the hospital to remember infants that have passed away. And it was a full circle experience for us. Just the year earlier, we had gone through this loss and this pain, and we were able to have a safe delivery with Harvey. And Harvey was born with kind of this brown dot next to his eye, and I had a C-section with him, so we're like, it can't be a bruise. But the first couple days we're like, is that a bruise? And it's his birthmark, and it's right where you want to kiss a kid. I kiss him on that birthmark all the time, and I believe that is straight from Stetson. I believe Stetson was like, I'm going to give you a kiss and you get down to mom, because she is really going through it. And that, I don't know, there's all these things that you're like, wow. And that's amazing. Harvey and Stetson are totally separate beings. They're totally different people. We held Stetson, and he had these unique features, and then having Harvey so soon after, he was his own being.
Right.
But they do feel like they have this special connection somehow. And as I'd mentioned before, when we left the hospital without Stetson, I'll never forget that. And when I left the hospital with Harvey, I had a rock that I'd written some words for Stetson on for that memorial.
Yeah.
And I remember they pulled the car up, and we went and got Harvey safe in the car.
Yeah.
And then I walked to the left to that memorial. I just had my C-section, and I just walked over there, and I had tears streaming down my eyes, and I went and put a little rock down for Stetson. And just this duality of life, so much pain, but so much joy. We were going home with his brother, with this healthy baby who has brought so much healing to us. But I just think birth, life, it's so precious, and it's such a gift. And sometimes it doesn't go the way we hoped it would.
Yeah.
And we can somehow keep going.
Right.
Somehow we do. I think you always say that, the human spirit is so resilient.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. And I watch people do that.
Yeah.
I watch people have failed pregnancies or failed IVF treatments, and they're like, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try again. And you're just like, you are strong.
Yeah. What courage that takes.
It does. It does take courage.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. And the duality of life, right? The grief and the joy.
Yeah.
And you having this experience so close together, having Harvey so close, right?
Yeah.
But almost is it fair to say that it was a gift that it happened the way it did?
It is.
Versus waiting maybe another year or two or three?
It's a total gift. And in the moment, I didn't feel that way.
Right.
I felt really scared. But I feel so lucky because Harvey, he has brought us a lot of healing.
Yeah.
He is this lovey. I mean, he probably hugs me 25 times a day. And when he hugs me, he hugs me. And
it's not like a little,
he makes
there.
me stop. He makes me pause. He makes me be like, this is such a gift to have you.
Wow.
And that's the hardest part of having a stillborn is, I always say it's like a loss of a lifetime. I lost a life with Stetson. When someone passes away and later on in their life, you know them, their smile, know their eye color. And with Stetson, those are things that I'll always wonder and yearn for. And I believe I'll get to experience those things with him. But going back to your question, Harvey has brought a lot of healing, and timing, kind of like we talked about, can be so challenging, and it can bring so much joy and peace. And that's what Harvey's pregnancy has done for my whole family. Yeah. Same thing.
Wow, it's amazing. So what do you hope, Sage, that comes from your story, is this something that you're going to start advocating for and moving forward with? Or is this just, I'm just curious because I know sometimes we can turn our pain into purpose. And wondering if you've had those kind of thoughts.
Yeah, I have recently. When I was in the hospital with Stetson, they kind of give you like thin tissues, and I hated them. Like, I was already crying so much.
Yeah.
My face was literally raw from crying,
man,
and the tissues were just so painful.
Like sandpaper.
On my face. And so this year for Stetson's second birthday, like you're like, what do I do for my baby? Like, that's gone. And I kept having this thought to do like a fundraiser for nice tissues for the labor and delivery unit at Intermountain for women who are going through delivering a stillborn or having infant loss. And so
I love that.
Our good family friend is a labor and delivery nurse, and she's like, yeah, bring them in. We will use them. And I talked to the bereavement coordinator, and she's like, put a sticker on them that says, in memory of Stetson Jet Smith, 2023.
Yeah.
And so I put it out there. I called it Tissues for Tears, and we got like $1,500 donated.
No way.
And so I bought really nice tissues, like infused with lotion.
Yeah.
And we got stickers, which has been fun for Lila even to stick them on the boxes. And me and Lila and Harvey the other day took our first load over, and my friend Shandy, she works in labor and delivery, and she sent me a text just yesterday and said, we've been using your tissues a lot this week. We've had a lot of demises. And she said, but these tissues, they are helping these women feel less alone.
Yeah.
They're making them be like, I'm not alone in this. And that's something that has felt good recently that I've done, because I think about those women and families all the time.
For sure. Going
through the unimaginable, and hopefully giving a little bit of comfort.
Those little things matter.
Yeah, they do.
That's beautiful.
They do. And I also think just a message, it's such a loaded question now when people kind of ask me, how many kids do you have? Like, that's a hard thing for me to answer, because I want to honor Stetson. I have 3 kids. Yeah,
you want to say 3, yeah.
But sometimes when you tell someone that you've had a stillborn, I mean, it's very shocking for them.
Yeah.
And I just think for all of us to just be aware of those kinds of questions for people. And just, you don't know someone's story. You don't know why they have the amount of children they have. Like, just don't question people that way, Yeah. And I also think a huge thing Landon and I have learned is just the support you can receive while grieving or going through something hard. And that's a huge thing we learned is like, when someone's going through something, show up in some way for them.
Yep.
Say something.
Yep.
Talk to them about their loss.
Yeah. Don't avoid the conversation, because they're just at least say something.
Acknowledge
it goes a long way.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's amazing that you're doing those tissues and stuff. And, one of the questions I always ask, and you probably know this, if there's someone listening to you right now, Sage, who's in a dark place and they're struggling, what would you tell that person?
I would tell them that they're not alone. As alone as they might feel, I would tell them that they're not alone. And I would tell them that they have a God who's aware of them and loves them, and they have friends and family who love them. And as crazy as it sounds, what they're going through right now, it's so hard to think this way, but it might help. You might be the person helping someone someday through this. And so just, you're not alone. You are loved. Beautiful. You are needed, and you can get through this just one step at a time. Yeah. Is what I would say.
Love that. Beautifully said. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If someone wanted to reach out to you, Sage, and they want to just learn more about your experience and maybe get involved with what you're doing, as well as advocating for those who have lost a a baby, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
Probably my email.
Okay.
And my email is elizabethsagesmith@gmail.com. And I would love to talk to anybody who's going through something like this. The community out there for infant loss is huge.
Right.
Sadly, it's huge.
It's unfortunate. Yeah. But thank you for sharing, because I think a lot of people will find strength in your story for sure, especially those who are in this exact same situation. Yeah. I feel strengthened because of you. And I really mean that. Like, I'm over here crying right now. I'm sorry. I'm emotional about your story, but because I care about you and your family so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, your family's amazing. I'm grateful that I know you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being vulnerable and coming on my podcast. It means the world to me.
Thank you.
I hope you know that. Yeah.
Thank you. It's been really, it's healing to talk about Stetson, and it's really a gift to get to say his name. Like, I get to say Lila and Harvey's name hundreds of times a day, and some days I'll just say his name out loud. So thank you for this gift to just speak his name and tell his story.
You're welcome. You are so welcome. Yeah, in honor of Stetson today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sage. You're the best.
Thank you. You are too.
Thank you. Well, there you go, guys. What an amazing experience we just had here today. I know you felt the same way I'm feeling right now. I can't stop tearing up here. And thank you. I need one of those. I need those nice tissues.
I know. I will bring you some.
But yeah, thank you for tuning in, everyone. For you believing in this and what we do here means the world to me. Again, thanks to my sponsors. Without you, I could not do this either. So thank you for supporting this. And if you have a loved one who's struggling, especially with what Sage has gone through, send them a link to this episode and have them listen to this story. This will help them through it, honestly. It'll help your whole family through it. So share this with your loved ones. And thank you so much for, just believing in me. It means the world to me. So love you guys. And please reach out to Sage. Her email will be in the show notes. She'll right there. You'll be able to send it right to her. So love you guys. Sage, you're the best.
Thank you.